I'm gonna wait for a few people to get in here. Well, my hair looks lovely. I got a like and nobody in the chat. I love it. Yeah, wait for a few people. Hey, what's up, Doc? Eh, what's up, Doc? Wait to get started here. Get a few more people in here. Man, look at that. The lights are already popping in here. Yeah, me too. What's up, Danny? How the heck are you? As you see a dog paw in the background there over my right shoulder. That's Bailey laying upside down. Mr. Luther, how goes it? Oh, I got a strong showing so far. That's pretty cool. Got my eyeballs on tonight so I can read what the heck I'm doing here. Hey, a fellow Missourian, Mr. Truth Jester. That's my home state. Grew up around the Kansas City area. Doc, I didn't get to see that. I haven't looked it up. You know, of course, they're suppressing a lot of that stuff. It is right. The show me state, for sure. I've been showing up at a oh crap. What's the name of that boxing stuff with Dana White? I'm drawing a blank. So there's enough of you in here. We'll get started. So yeah, MMA. So I'm well, that's no good, Steven. It's probably all them hot dogs. Just kidding, just kidding. So of course the tractor broke down, you know. The tractor broke down as it just I know everybody's got their fair share of problems, but this is me just pondering things. You know, over the last year, I guess I could say that I've just kind of watched everything that I've been working so hard to save up on has just kind of been dwindling down to nothing. Now, you know, I had to get a new car for Mama, uh, Ruby, um, just because the old Bessie was getting wore out. So I got the tractor fixed. It was just something simple. Just the battery had outlived it. It's only the this is only the third. Let's see. This is the second time since we've owned this tractor I've had to put a battery in it, and since 2007. That tells you how long the batteries last on this thing. Of course, it is a diesel. So, but at any rate, so I had to go get a new battery for it. And of course, we got tax day coming up on what is it, Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday's tax day. So we got to pay our taxes, unfortunately. I don't get anything back because apparently we made too much money last year, which I don't see it. But since the current administration is in office, I've watched everything that we've worked and saved for just kind of dwindle down to nothing. And it's frustrating the crap out of me, and it's getting the better of me. And I know I shouldn't let it, but it is. Um, I put the tractor away tonight after I got done mowing with it today, and I'm looking at my 3 third gens that I've got out back, and wondering when I'm going to have time to do anything with it, or if I'm ever going to get time to do with it. On top of that, if I'm ever going to have money to fix them, or to do something what I've always dreamed of, having another car like that. And it just kind of makes me realize that I'm about at my wit's end, to where I'm really going to have to be considering getting rid of some assets, just because we've got no cushion left to speak of. And if we have something major come in, we're in some deep water. Doc, this is a funky size. We've got a John Deere 2305, which is a compact utility tractor. Everything on it's compact, including the battery, is a funky size because of where they've got it. It's actually mounted in front of the radiator behind the grill. And it's a Group 22, which none of the parts stores carry. They can get one, but it take them, 3 to 5 days to get it. And they're $100 for their parts store. Or I'd go to John Deere, which had 4 of them on the shelf, but they were $150. Well, I have to get the tractor back going, because it's getting that time where we got to start mowing here. And so on top of that, had to fix some battery cables, and so I made a new negative cable, and I fixed the positive cable just because the corrosion had got the better of it. Started right up, been working perfect. It doesn't take anything to light this thing off. It's got one of them little Yanmar 3-cylinder diesels in it, and it's been a super, super nice tractor. It's held up really, really well. But I used to have a pretty decent stash put back, for emergencies and stuff like that. Well, since I have to pay taxes, that's pretty much wiping that out. And the way everything's going, I just don't make enough money. This old body doesn't allow me to break flat rate under warranty times. I just can't do it. I guess I'm not smart enough to do it anymore, or know how to cheat the system. I can't do that. And with my morals and everything, it just doesn't even. What's up, Eyes? Yeah, Doc, it's a great engine. But getting back to what I'm saying, I've already decided that as against my better judgment, I'm going to have to sell my motorcycle. But I'm not riding it. So what's the point in keeping it? I got to the point where I'm just more comfortable in the car. And with these crazy SOBs down here, the way they drive, it's probably better off that I wasn't on 2 wheels. And you know, I just watch the money just go out the door, and then every time we go to the grocery store, it's something stupid, you know. Uh, you know, it cracks me up. Walmart puts this deal out there. Well, it's the same prices as last year. Okay, well, it may be the same prices as last year, but the amount of product that you get for that same price is much less than what it was, you know, 2 years, 3 years ago. I mean, they may have kept the price the same, but they cut the quantity of whatever you get next to nothing. It's absolutely ridiculous, and they're doing exactly what a lot of these so-called conspiracy theorists have said wouldn't, you know, was coming. I mean, all that stuff that they're saying that all that's just baloney. That'll never happen. Well, guess what? It's happening. Um, the you know, fortunately, we have a roof over our head, and like I said, Ruby was a necessity. But I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult to be able to afford a car with two people working their butts off at decently paying jobs. But the only thing that, in my current situation with how I'm paid at work, I can't really justify asking for an increase. Although, I mean, it would be nice, but flat rate, the only thing they tell you is if you're on flat rate, this is where you need to work harder. Brother, I've worked hard for a while. You know, I even harder. I never thought it would take as much out of me as when I had my own business. When I started that in 2010, uh, man, did that take a lot of time, and that took a big toll on our marriage too. We worked through it, and you know, here we are today. But I put a lot of hours in when I had my job because or had my business because I cared about my customers and I wanted to make sure things got done. And I can't blame it on anything but, you know, just maybe the way my brain and my mental stuff works. But I'm looking at these things that need to get done. I've got an old pickup that needs to be repaired body wise. I don't have the finances to fix it. I got three third gens out back that I really want to get at least one of them going. Don't have time and don't have finances. Um, you know, I've got to sell some assets and stuff like that. I really didn't want to have to do, but you know, I don't see this getting better is what I'm getting at. I'm beginning to have trouble seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I'm saying? And with the threat of war that they've been saying here lately, and the predictions that everybody's saying. Now, granted, I don't know that it's how much of it's true or anything like that, but you know, I'm just thinking about the long haul. You know, what if, and the what ifs really get my brain going, and they. I've always been known as somebody that analyzes things before I do them. That was something that my dad gave me. It's called common sense, which a lot of the world is lacking these days. But I think about things. What if this happens? What's going to be the reaction, or what's going to be the outcome of it if it does happen? Um, uh, it's about making the right decisions. I don't want to spend the stash, but it's called being a responsible adult, which this adulting shit sucks. I can just tell you that right up hand. Yeah, truth. I've got a third and jit hobby too. I've got 3 of them sitting out in the yard. I need to. I wish I had time to. I wish I had more time. I guess that's more important. The older, don't mind the cat throwing up in the background, but um, the you're going to be on camera. Do you need to come out? All right. Pause for the cause here, guys. Hang on. All right. Camera's off. Microphone is still on, but camera is off. Doc, you're exactly right. Time is something we don't have enough of. It gets short. I'll turn you back on for a second. I kind of got a kick out of it. I was in O'Reilly's today getting some parts to fix the tractor, and I overheard the conversation between, I guess, the manager and a couple of the assistant managers, something like that, and they were complaining about the fact that I can't get anybody to come to work, and we don't have any applicants coming in, and I just lost another one here the other day, and this and that, what have you, and it seems like that's a common thing that's happened between pretty much every job out there. Um, doesn't matter what you're in, well, except for technicians, but I mean, technicians are floating around too, just as bad. But yeah, we can thank the government for that. When they started doing the stimulus, they figured out, well, I don't have to work, I just live off the government. Well, who do you think pays for that? The taxpayers do. Who's a taxpayer? You and I. So it is what it is, but I mean, it sucks either way. But you know, I listen to them, and it doesn't surprise me. These younger kids don't have the same work ethic as we did. You okay over there? You ready to go back? All right, pause for the cause there. Well, not really. I can still read your stuff. Go ahead, man. All right. Excuse me. So at any rate, um, yeah, I was thinking about going up and seeing mom here, um, probably in the next month. But I'm sitting there looking at the way the finances are floating around, and I don't think I'm even gonna be able to do that. I mean, it's just I got to get a cushion built back up. But anyway, enough of the depressing stuff. So, okay, so we're not going to get on the depressing stuff, but I got to make a shout out to, um, I guess it's not really a shout out. I think it's funnier than all get out what people have uh, spoken uh, with that stupid stunt that Bud Light pulled. Yeah, Doc, I've been looking at a few others that have been that way too. But this vice president of uh, Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch, whichever one it was, and made this deal and had Dylan Mulvaney in there. Oh, my Lord. Boy, did that backfire. And it's great that people have spoken up and said, look, we don't approve of that. And I guess they lost something like $6 billion in stock because of that move. Um, it's absolutely crazy. Yeah, I mean, that's higher than the last time I read it. It was 6 billion the last time I seen it. I was like, holy cow, man, did that backfire. Now, if they could do the same thing with all them other woke companies like Nike and uh, a couple others that are in that, he got a brand sponsorship deal from Nike for sports bras. Are you freaking kidding me? It's a dude. It just cracks me up. And you know what? They didn't come out all right out and say it, but it has to do with that social economic score, uh, and it's part of that ESG. If you guys haven't read about ESG, uh, you need to check that out. Economic, social, and governance is what it is, and it's all based off of a score. Uh, yes, exactly right. And you guys need to read on that if you haven't. Glenn Beck's got a good book out there about it, but uh, that's some seriously bad stuff. Um, the NFL is in the middle of one of those woke companies too. It's these corporate. It's basically has to do with corporate greed more than anything. Uh, it it cuts out the lower people. It's basically for people that have got so much money they don't know what to do with it, which that's sickening. Um, yeah, but nobody seems to be paying attention to it, Doc, and it's seriously bad stuff. Um, more people need to know about it. It's crazy. Um, what I've seen in a lot of this stuff that's gone out. Something else that really bothers me is this transgender BS that's going on and all the rights that they think that they deserve and I, I'm sorry, folks, but you guys are no different. Guys and gals are no different from the rest of us. Um, it's no, no. I hmm. Oh yeah, and I'm sure that they watch these things too, and if anything that I say in this is strictly my opinion, but They have taken one of my live streams off the page because they said I was spreading misinformation, which wasn't true. Yeah, I absolutely agree, Stephen. There's really, to me, there's no room in the world for racism. There's no room in the world for uh, this pronoun stuff. I don't understand all this stuff. I mean, to me, it's mind-boggling how this has become a thing. Um, it, I, I don't get it. Doc, I actually have a Rumble account and it's linked to the YouTube, and so my stuff is supposed to be on Rumble also. I don't know if it actually shows up there or not, but it's supposed to be on Rumble as well. Um, but automotive channels on Rumble don't go over as well, um, just because it's not as popular as actually YouTube. Now, see, that kind of stuff right there is just stupid. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Ice. When you're young, you didn't worry about anything. It just time wasn't as a factor. And as you get older, you realize how little of it you got. And I got my bosses screaming at me sometimes because there's times that I don't roll in there and right at 8 o'clock. And the only thing I can think of is that I spend an hour and a half a day on the road to and from work. That's for both. It's about 45 minutes one way to work and 45 minutes back. I spend um, usually 10 hours, 10 to 11 hours at work, plus another hour and a half drive time. So that's 12 and a half hours. I have to get 8 hours of sleep. So if you add that, that's 20 hours. So that leaves me 4 hours to do what I need to do here in between the time that I have to sleep and the time I have to get up to go to work. That's not a lot of time. And unfortunately, I'm no spring chicken anymore either. And I can't go on 4, 5, 6 hours of sleep and just be, uh, ready to go. Unfortunately, when you get this old, your metabolism doesn't work. Um, and it slows everything down. So, uh, there's just not enough time of it. And I'd rather have, I wish I could find something that, I work exactly 8 hours. I've got maybe a 5-minute drive to and from work would be fantastic. Um, that would leave me all sorts of time. Or if I had something that, maybe if we did 4-day work weeks, but I'm going to tell you anymore, when I get to work and I work from 8 to 4, 8 to 5, I'm ready to go. I don't want to stay, 10 and 12 hours a day, which would be a 12-hour day. There's no possible way. You get done in 8 hours, you're ready to get the hell out of there. It's just the way it is. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Doc. Speaking of which, so my church has asked me to, I guess I had mentioned something, the fact that the church website and our Facebook page hasn't been touched since January. And I was like, That's not exactly good if you're trying to attract, new patrons to come to your church. And so anyway, they pretty much elected me to take that over. So I don't know what that's going to entail or if I can even do it. I don't know. I'm going to try it. And then they also want me to sit in on their business meeting for another set of ears, um, and see what we can get done. I'm actually kind of excited about it because I need to get more involved in my church. Because that's about the only thing we got to hang on to, really. With everything else going in the tank, you might as well do something that, there's still people out there that don't believe in God and that don't believe that there's a higher being. And I mean, if that's what you believe, that's what you believe. But I think there is. Um, I've been brought up to say that there is, and the Bible says so. Excuse me. Yeah, that's a lot of driving, Doc, for sure. Um, well, truth that my channel is growing. It's just not growing very fast, and that's what I'm saying about the time thing. Um, I haven't had a whole lot of time to do much of anything. I've got 3 of them back there to work on. One of them is a donor car, and then the other 2 are actual legit uh, cars with titles and everything. And I got some projects I'm trying to get to the point where I can work on them and just, being the responsible type person, getting my weekends are usually filled up with stuff going on too. That's what I'm saying. I don't have any time to do any fun things. I mean, unfortunately, the responsibility thing just kind of takes over. Um, I know it's an excuse, but I mean, it is what it is. I would love to do some more third gen content. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Mm. King Bay. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Um, if there's anybody out there that hasn't been out there that hasn't already smashed that like button, please do so because it helps the YouTube algorithm get me out there too. Well, that's what I'm getting at, Doc. By the time I'm done with work and I get that 45-minute drive home in traffic and stuff like that, I'm just ready just to stop, um, and just relax. You know, I come home and we'll eat dinner and it'll be 6:30, 6 something like that, 6:30 if we're lucky, and then I'm usually up till maybe 8 or 9, somewhere in there. And with me, I have such a hard time getting up in the morning because of I have sleep apnea on top of that, and by the time when I'm relaxed, and things don't want to move first thing in the morning. So my alarm starts going off at 4 o'clock, and it goes off between 4 and 5. Um, Hopefully, I'm usually out of bed by 5, but then I do the morning routine, and I'm out the door by 7. Um, so yeah, I wish there was more of it. That's crazy, Doc. An hour to go 12 miles. That's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh. Anyway. Yeah, well, I know New Jersey is bad as far as traffic's concerned. I know when I had to drive up in uh, it was DC area when I drove up there. That was flipping crazy. Man, you want to talk about people that are crazy drivers up there. Holy crap. And if you don't make yourself a hole up there when you're driving and know what that go pedal's for, you're going to get run over. Um, it's stupid. You know, the first time I experienced something like that was when I lived up in Iowa. You get on, yeah, it wasn't I-80, it was 235. You get on 235, which is the main thoroughfare through the middle of Des Moines and stuff like that. It's like the city route where if you take 35, it'll go around and go up north, or you can go I-80 and it'll go east and west, so on and so forth. But 235 would go right through the middle of Des Moines, and you get on 235 and rush hour traffic, you better be on that flipping gas pedal. Truth, there's those are tough to come up with, especially ones that are in good shape. Uh, Man, they would be nice to have though, because they look pretty good. I've always liked the louvers that go on the back, but I don't know of anybody that's got any right at the moment, or for that matter, if they're willing to part with them. But you know, it'd be nice to have a dog's life. That's a dog's life right there. Snoozing, not a care in the world. Then there's Buster there behind me. I mean, they got the couch. And Sugar's over there somewhere. One of these days, I'll get that fridge out of here. Upgraded, huh? Wow. Why do you need a 4-core aluminum radiator in a Bonneville? That's crazy. That dude will never get warm. Yeah. Yeah. Dogs are really vicious, Steven. And I don't know where the cat went. I don't see either one of them. Foxy's probably. So we got this box that we put on the kitchen table, and it was a box I was using for something. Well, anyway, Foxy has adopted that box as her own, and she squeezes her fat ass in that thing, and she just loves it. She just curls up and snoozes in it. Well, that'll work. Biggest thing on the, excuse me, biggest thing on that dock is to keep that transmission cool. Because I guarantee there isn't enough transmission cooler on that car. The 4T65s are always lacking. transmission cooler, and they run warm because of the size of the converter. I'm assuming it's a front drive Bonneville. I don't remember what you said. But yeah, if it's a front drive Bonneville with a 4T65, you need to make sure you said you already got one, added one. So you got to be good. But they will run warm. That was the main reason why those transmissions failed too, is because of heat. They never did run very cool, and they were always short on the cooling system. I always tell people when they order something, if you can order the heaviest duty, always order the heaviest duty cooling system and transmission cooling that you can get on one from the factory, because you won't regret it. It'll save you in the long run. I've thought about adding an extra one to Ruby, but we'll just keep the transmission fluid changed. I already changed it after we bought it. So I'll try to keep it changed every 30 to 35,000 miles would be good. That's what I've always done on Bessie, and she's still going with 290,000 on it. But that's now our backup car in case one of the other ones go bad. Hopefully that won't happen, but you never know. Hashtag it can't last forever. So I got a 6.2 at work. Somebody's dreaming. She was just running in her dream just a minute ago. It's only got 160 on the clock. Dreaming about biting me. Steven, you crack me up. 2004 Honda Pilot 3.5 with 160 on the clock. Is it worth $1,000? Yes. As long as it's had the timing belt changed, they're due at about 120, I think. 105,000, I think. 105,000, I think, is when it's due. So, yeah, as long as it's had timing belt maintenance. If not, you need to make sure that you find out that information. They're super important. If it's still got the factory belt on it, 160,000 miles, that's a lot. That's a lot. Y'all ever watch Jeff Dunham, the ventriloquist? Oh, my Lord, he's funny. Cracks me up. Like when he gets peanut and he's talking about picking his nose. Pretty funny to watch some comedy. Got to do something to, lighten the mood a lot of times. Oh, he was. I don't watch a lot of regular TV anymore. To me, that there's not really a whole lot good on. I like to watch American Idol and The Voice, just to see the kind of talent some of these kids have got. It's great. what was that? Josh Blue. Um, he got cerebral palsy, and he's a that stand-up comedian. Dude, that guy's funny. He says when they get off the airplane, there's 20 of them there that looked like a zombie apocalypse coming off the way they were walking, and JeffDunham.com. 77 Pantera, that'll work. Oh, I actually thought about doing, but not that I'd have any time to do it anyway, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to do uh, podcast. Um, I don't know. I'm dreaming again. I dream too much, I guess. I dream of a life with everybody's happy, nobody struggles. Um, a perfect life. Guess that's not something that's going to happen while I'm here on Earth. No, I'm not going to go as far as making an early exit. You don't have to worry about that. I figured the good Lord put me here for some reason, and apparently He's not done with me. But well, Doc, I do have another channel out there. It's called Smitty TV. There is nothing on it right at the moment. That was in anticipation for doing something a little different. Don't know how that would work. I don't know if I could carry on a conversation with somebody or be smart enough to think about questions I'd want to ask somebody, or actually get anybody to come out, because I'm just a nobody. I'm not anybody special. I'm just an average everyday Joe that's trying to get through life and struggling the whole way. But like I said, I'm nobody real special. Oh, I agree to that, Doc. I mean, God made us all special in a certain way. You go through life though, and you wonder which way that was supposed to be, if you know what I mean. Oh, H-O-T. Do 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 do. Oh, that's crazy. Coilovers for GMA bodies. Wow, that looks pretty fancy. The first thing I did was insult Nancy Pelosi. That's funny. What's the matter, son? Is your butt itching? Hmm? Your butt itching? Looks like you've been licking your butt again. So this guy here, he he gets attacked this time of year every year. Same thing. You can see his butt right there, right there. That is from sand fleas, and they get his butt every year, and he just obliterates himself. And so we have to put the cone of shame on him. We have to put the cone of shame on him to keep him from chewing on his butt. No, he doesn't have worms. Um, we make sure of that. I mean, we've looked at his poop several times, and he's always clean. And we've had it tested too, and there's no worms in it. But it's an allergy or something that he gets to, or the actual fleas themselves that get his backside like that, and he just chews the crap out of it. Um, so we have to put the cone on him to get it to heal. And of course, when it scabs over, then it really drives him crazy. He'll walk around with his butt turned sideways and, trying to keep from it biting at it because he knows it will get after him if he does. Meet Justin. Welcome, Meet Justin. Meet Smitty. Is a 4L60 supposed to have a rear seal with a 4x4 extension? No, sir, it is not. The 4L60 was never designed to have a rear seal on it. Now, there is a rubber seal that goes around the extension housing. When you bolt it onto the back of the transmission, there'll be a square cut O-ring that goes in between the extension housing and the case. And that usually has a orange stripe on the outside of it. And then before you bolt your transfer case up, it will have a paper gasket, a paper 6-hole gasket there, and that's what seals the back of the transmission. But they were never designed for an actual oil seal that goes around the output shaft. Does that answer your question, sir? Doc, I think anybody that has to do that kind of stuff, dude, I'm gonna tell you, I'm a man. I'm a he. I'm a sir. Um, that's just the way it is. I'm a male. What else you want to know? I mean, that's all there is to it. There's males and females, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes. You're very welcome. Meet Justin. Hmm. Interesting fact on that rear seal thing. Not that you guys want to know, but on a 6L80, that transmission is designed with a output shaft seal if it is a four-wheel drive. If it is a two-wheel drive, that seal gets left out, and there's actually two um, freeze plugs. There's one at the top and one at the bottom that they install, or they leave them out if it's a two-wheel drive. But on a four-wheel drive, it'll have a rear output shaft seal. It'll have a freeze plug at the very top and very bottom, and it's only like it's a freeze plug probably about the size of my pinky. It's not very big. Some buttholes talking shit. Turd honking for the right of way. You know what I mean? Hi, sleepyhead. Hi, sleepyhead. She woke up from her dream. She's looking at me like, "What, Dad?" Oh, at any rate, so I guess it's just. I think it's coming to the end of this live stream. We've been on here about an hour, like we usually do, and it is good. I only show 7 though, but y'all, I really do appreciate. Oh, there's the 8th one. That's great. Uh, I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me on a Saturday night. I know you guys could be doing some other things, but it's nice to get your input and um, oh wow, it went up to 9. Check that out. Um, but like I said, I really do appreciate it. I really appreciate y'all. It's nice to be able to talk to somebody and you know, although it's not directly related, I mean, it's nice to hear everybody else's situation just as well. Sometimes it makes your situation not so much bad. So um, it's another week in the books, and we're going to start another week starting tomorrow. So uh, That's good. I mean, the best thing to do is to talk about things. I mean, suppression of it is not good for sure. I mean, it's we shouldn't be criticized for having a belief in the way we believe. We shouldn't be. It's just like there. I've seen a couple of things where people are getting irate over the abortion thing, and you're entitled to be able to protest for what you believe, but you're never entitled to be violent about it. There's no reason for that. There's no reason why you can't have a civilized conversation regarding a topic that it's called debate. Um, and in the same aspect, you have to have an open mind for uh, all different aspects of life. That's kind of like the race card. When people start pulling a race card, I said, look, no, uh, there's no room for that. There really isn't. You know, if any of us were cut by any stretch of the imagination, say we got in an accident and ended up slicing a member or slicing the skin or something like that, guess what? We all bleed red. I mean, that's just the way it is. So it shouldn't make a hill of beans what color your skin color is or anything like that. It doesn't give you special privileges. I mean, you have all the same aspects and the people that look at them different because of skin color and look down on them because of they're not the same, those are the ones you need to steer clear of anyway. Um, it's not right. But anyway, that's going to be my final thought for the night. Just be kind to everybody. Um, God bless y'all. God bless America. Make sure to tell your loved ones that you, in fact, do the same, and give them a big squeeze when you can, because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. So, with that being said, y'all have a good night. Goodbye.